No worries.
All right.
Hi there, my name is Andre Vrignaud. I'm a senior game platform strategist for the Xbox group and the Advanced Technology group at Microsoft, also known as Ozymandias, and I'm going to show off a little bit of the Windows Phone to these folks here. Something like that. Good. And here, so I'm going to de-smudge it for a second. I'm just going to, I can walk you through a few key points. So home screen, a couple of key points I'll make. This is a development device. This thing I am holding is never actually going to ship, so you're going to see issues. It's an early build, all that usual stuff. We even have an auto screen blanking feature to take power. Check that out. So powered up home screen, key points to notice, date, time, information that you want to surface up at the top, the latest appointment you're going to do, notifications of mail, other things you're going to want to do. You unlock by swiping up, and then you're at the start screen. The start screen is full of different things that we call live tiles. These tiles are all personalizable. What's really cool is that information gets surfaced up from throughout the phone and different applications, different social networks, and different events as you want to need it. So if I had a phone call missed, it would show a number there. If I had new mail, I'd see it next to the Outlook tab. And this exact version I'm showing right now, those have already been viewed, so they're not actually new. I'll just jump through a couple of the more interesting ones. Outlook tends to be one people are interested in. Outlook is just Outlook. It's the ability for you to go take a look at your mail. Very typographic, very clean. This is one of the nice things that we really wanted to focus on, is how easy it is to read and find information. Slide across the panorama style to be able to view other bits of information. If I want to look at unread information, want to look at my flagged mail, urgent, go back to all, which is pretty useful. I can do that. And there's the touchscreen acting up on me. There we go, back to all. If I wanted to do read it, I can just tap it, brings it in, very easy to read, easy to act on. Key set of buttons at the bottom to forward and reply and delete, which are the most common actions. Some of the actions that aren't as common we put into this little ellipse here, and then we're able to show toggle flag, mark on read, move.
Can I ask you a question regarding this? Are the colors customizable on a per user basis? Can I say, like, go and say I want this to be black background instead of white, or is that hard coded into the actual OS itself?
You know what, that's actually a really good question. I don't know the answer. I know you're able to customize some of the colors, like the live tiles and some of the major elements. I'm not sure whether what you just asked would kind of go override the design sensibility that they put in. So
right.
I can't answer that.
I was just curious.
That's a great question. Now I'm going to have to go ask. So now if I want to go back, you just type back. Back always brings you back to the experience. Multi-select is pretty cool. If I wanted to do a multi-select action, just tap the first letter, and it slides out and shows you that you have the ability to do the multi-select. I'll just kind of toggle both of these. In this case, since I'm running out of mail on this demo unit, I'm going to actually simply say, let's mark as red. And suddenly they're both marked as red.
So it's stored locally, your emails?
Yeah, and then synchronized, like Outlook has always been on mobile devices, whenever we over the air with the server.
Does that also apply for using like a Hotmail service or something like that? Would it also bring it locally besides leaving it in the cloud, or it's going to only pull from the cloud?
Yeah. Well, we only sync with the cloud, right? But we do have a local cache that we synchronize with.
Okay.
So go back home. We'll just jump in. People tends to be a pretty cool place. That tile surfaces all the people in your life. And what I love about this is it shows you different views into it. One is just what's new. And this is what's going on with Facebook, social networks, comments they're making, tweets they're putting out. These all get surfaced. You can see by the number one there that there's comments going on. I can add a comment to that thread if I want without having to log into those things. This is sort of what I was talking about, surfacing useful information from across all of these different devices and services. Come over here to recent. Recent is just what it sounds like. People I've most recently texted with, sent mail to, had a phone call from. Let's me quickly jump in. If I wanted to email Jane Doe here, apparently that's her name, I have the ability to see what she said, call her mobile, text her, call home, all the information that you'd expect, mapping address. I can also take a look at what's new with just her by shifting over here to that view. If I want to go back, just kind of go back, and then last point I'll make, I also have my all category where I can just tap on this letter. It shows me all the contacts that I do have. Obviously N, Q, these guys don't exist. If I wanted to go take a look at F, I can find Fabrice, drill in, and there's that. Let's say Fabrice is a good friend of mine. If I wanted to have her on my home page, I just make her a favorite there, and she appears down here, and now she's pinned to my home page where I can get to her anytime I need.
What would happen if a phone call came in the middle of you doing something?
The phone call would come in and I'd be able to answer it.
I'm saying in what form would it come in? It would be a pop-up at the top, a notification. What would it look like?
You know what? Funny question. I have not personally received a call on one of these test devices, so
Yeah.
I have not actually seen it.
And what about placing a call? Can you do other things while you're in a call?
Yeah, we have what we're calling smart multitasking. And basically, one of the key elements around the entire phone was that we wanted to focus on the user experience. And so one of the things we wanted to do was make sure to understand what would the end user actually expect the device to do and what would they want to be able to do. So your example, phone call coming in, we're going to obviously let that come in, but we're not going to break the experience. If you're listening to music and you want to go look at a calendar, we're going to let the experience of listening to music continue on. However, in general, other third-party apps, when you leave that app, what will happen is we'll pause them. They will not be running in the background. So it's really kind of high-level services that the user is going to expect to be running that we will allow to run that we have control of on the phone.
But it won't close third-party apps.
It depends on the experience. It might.
It might. So that depends on the coder, or that depends on Microsoft?
No, it depends on, it is what we'll be doing. If the phone call comes in and that's the primary use, let's use a phone call as the best example, we would be probably pausing the app and closing it out. Now, the pause is because we don't want it to be taking OS cycles in the background. We're still working through all the final details around that, but that's the general experience.
So it's not a true multitasking experience for third-party stuff, just for the actual Windows Phone.
Right. So certain experiences, the experiences that matter the most to the user, we will do multitasking for, but for third-party apps, they will most likely be paused and then close that phone.
And if you're running, let's say, a GSM network where you can use data and voice at the same time, is that going to be possible within this OS and this framework?
I don't know. That's a good question. Okay.